See, this is what happens every time I come upstairs to try and record a video. I still need to put all these boxes in the attic. I should probably hurry up and get that video made. Today we're going to be looking at Deathstroke. Now you might be mistaken for thinking this is an overly designed Iron Man. There is a lot of armour to this in the video game. They decided to go really heavy with all the costume designs, including Batman, and you get these really sort of heavy armoured characters. The video game was criticised a little bit for everybody's costumes being too overly designed, sort of looking more like an Iron Man than something out of Batman. But in all honesty, it kind of worked for the universe that they created, and also they actually work even better as figures, especially with Hot Toys, because there are so many pieces and so many little details that when you actually put it all together into a figure, it really impresses. Okay, so just quickly zooming in, we can see that the head sculpt is really impressive. Not just in the fact that they've managed to nail the design of the actual video game, but this battle damage on the orange side is superb. All the notches and the dents and indentations. He's even got some dirt and smoke marks going up the side. It looks like he's been through hell, and he probably would be. If you're trying to take down Batman, he's not going to be going down easy. So as you can see, you've got all these little accents and curves going in around the helmet, and on this side there is this sort of almost pitted texture, so that it's not just blue and orange, it's orange on this side, blue on this side, but also a different texture as well to help with the contrast. And if we bring it around, we can see it's got some fantastic details all the way through the back. Got these straps here, there. Still got that blue pitted texture onto the back of the helmet as well, along with the back of the strap. We come around, you can also see that they've actually put a black accent in there, and they have absolutely nailed the design of this head sculpt. And you can also see the actual eye from the eyepiece here, and that is exceptional detail. You wouldn't even notice it from back here or further back, but when you actually come in close, you can take a look. You can see that the eye is looking dead ahead. It's got a stern expression, and it does look like he's scowling underneath. That's not a happy man under there. And the lines between the orange and the blue side are completely separate. You can see that there is no bleed off anywhere. This is what Hot Toys do best. They are never beaten when it comes to paint applications, never. If we quickly look at the articulation of this head, you can see it can turn quite a lot. There's some fabric here on the neck there. This bit's solid, but it does allow for some movement still. You can get his head back about that far, and then it stops. You can get his chin onto his chest there. Amazing. And it can come all the way around here like that. Come all the way down like that. I'm actually really impressed with the articulation on the head. I genuinely thought this was going to be a glorified statue, but they've managed to get more movement out of it than I ever thought possible. I've seen some people actually shave down the neck, or actually put the head port further in so the neck can sit further down there onto the so it doesn't look like he's got such a giraffe neck. But for me personally, I think the slightly longer neck actually works really well to give this guy a bit more articulation and get some posing out of him, because you want this figure to last. You want to look at it and admire it over and over again, and the best way of achieving that is by putting him in different poses. So the fact that they've managed to stretch the neck up just a little bit too high, but it does work to help give him some more articulation, so I'm very happy with that. Having a quick look at this upper torso now, you can see that there is fantastic details. Again, there's all that blue texture going throughout the suit. You've got some battle damage here, notches, scratches, dents and bangs. This is one of those figures where normally they would release a battle damage variant and make you pay twice. But I think they've got a fantastic balance of battle damage and non-battle damage pieces to make this an entire and complete figure. So you wouldn't have to double dip. And I think they've got these amazing little strap piece here that goes all the way around. You can see there's actually studs in there, all the details. This piece is plastic, but these bits are actually fabric. But one of the problems I've got so far, and I've noticed already, is that when I actually try and bring this down, there are two push fasteners here. And there's two push fasteners up in this belt here. And you've got to try and stretch them down and snap them into this here. So this belt actually fits in properly and snaps in place, and I can't, for some strange reason, this is far too low. This part of the armor is a bit too low, and these snap fasteners won't attach to these. It's not a big deal, but I would have liked that to be a bit easier. I might have to futz around and move things up and down just to try and get that to fit. But other than that, man, this is, look at all of these tiny details in here. The silver, the black, the orange. There's even like small emblems and bits of stitching style just here that make it look like this is all fabric. Great attention to detail. You can see he's got these two grey grenades that fit on the side of the belt. I've fastened them on already. You can see the undershirt here. They've actually got a scale mail armour just underneath here, but it's actually fabric, but it's still really great print on there. Nailed the design completely. And if we come in and have a look at these shoulder pads, you can see all these shotgun shells are removable if you really want. You can move them up and down and position them so they're all aligned perfectly, or messy and chaotic if you so wish. More shotgun shells in there. Same on this shoulder pad here. You've still got some nice design and it's elaborate. And if I bring this back here, look, you can actually still get the arms up quite far more than I thought you would be able to with this figure, considering all these armor pieces should actually stop it from moving around at all, but they've managed to get a good balance, so I'm quite impressed with that, to be fair. And these pieces of the shoulder pad move around so that they can be manipulated when you're moving and posing him about. And I really like the arm gauntlets here, the blue and the orange. There's a fantastic balance between the two, so neither stands out more than the other. Some nice weathering. You can still see some chips and scratches, and there's some dirt built up on the inside here like there normally would be. I'm very impressed. The more I'm looking at it now, the more I'm talking myself into loving it even more, if that's even possible. But yeah, I am. I think it's fantastic. I'm sort of fanboying it up a little bit, aren't I? I need to probably pull back, but you know, it's such a nice looking figure. It really is. And if we come around the back, you can still see that there's still all that lovely blue texture going through, but they've even done battle damage, nicks, scratches and dents in it, as you would expect from the front. They could have just not bothered with that, but they went to that level of detail, so that's an even bigger brownie point for them. And you can see that this is the sheath on his back. I always think that's quite big, it's quite thick. It's not really Hot Toys' fault, because that's what it looked like in the video game, but it is a bit thick and chunky, and I don't think it needed to be as huge as it was. But that's just the way they went with it in the video game, so Hot Toys recreated it. And they've even gone to town by putting some sort of wear and tear near the top of the sheath where he's putting the sword in and out all the time. So there's scratches all the way near the top, and there's wear and tear around the edges here. This is something he takes into battle quite a lot. It's just a level of detail that you wouldn't get from many other companies out there right now. And then coming down, we can see that there is some nice designs and actual more fabric pouches on this belt here. And they've sort of got it so it hangs a bit loose. This strap here is just, it's not fitted on properly, so I might tighten that up a little bit to try and get it to fit flusher to the leg. The exact same quality paint apps that you would expect from a Hot Toys figure. No bleed off. All of it works together to give you a nice elaborate design. If we move this arm up, we can come around the side here. We can see that this gun inside the holster, it does stick out a little bit, but again, that's not Hot Toys' fault. It's the fault of the designers of the video game. The usual level of detail from a gun with Hot Toys. The magazine pops out, you pop it back in, you can pull back, but this one's actually spring loaded, so it does work a little bit better. And this hammer can kick back as well. Lovely paint apps. Not much in the way of weathering. It's a very subtle weathering anyway, but it doesn't need to be, because the way they've painted it works so well. This is one of those guns I think people will be fighting over when people part these figures out. they'll be looking for this gun because it's such a nice design. Top work, and it fits in effortless, and it fits effortless. And it fits nicely into the sheath, not much resistance at all. And then we come down to the leg armour, and you can see we've still got that blue texture going all the way through. Lots of notches and scratches and battle damage, and they've even managed to take the blue out and put some silver in there to give it more of an elaborate look. And there's also, when you look really deep into the actual grooves, it gets a little darker, and then you can see these little silver plates on the back. These are a little bit clean, but they're really nicely sort of contrasting the blue. It works really well, and it even suggests that maybe this is what's underneath this leg armour, is this sort of Kevlar protection. He's going to need it for sure. And if we swing it around, you can see all these straps come all the way round. There's this nice orange design here. The knee pads, again, very battle damaged, very protection. He looks almost like a really sort of hyper designed Knight of the Round Table. And we can see there's all these little bits that stick out on the side of the legs, just near the calves. And then these shin guards, again, battle damaged, move around quite nicely. He's got a knee bend to about 90 degrees, which is more than I thought it would be, considering of all this work in here. Considering all the armour should be stopping it at the back here, it doesn't really. It's really good. And of course we have the boots, and there's loads of ankle articulation, very nicely designed. Still got some of that armour design around the back of the boots there, and they've even put the tread on, which always baffles me because no one's ever going to pose it with the tread up like that, but they always go that extra mile. In terms of accessories, he comes with quite a lot. Now, I've already shown you the grenades which I've fitted on the belt. Very nice, well painted. I don't think I need to show them again, do I? I've also shown you this gun already and what it can do. But he also comes with this sort of, I'd say it was like a grapnel launcher type gun. And you'd fire that out and it will split apart. And I think it wraps around people's legs to disable them. But as you can see, I think I have a piece here that's very loose. It doesn't fully, so if I open it up like that, it's going to stay open. Or if I turn it up that way, it becomes loose again. So I might talk to Sideshow and see if I can't get replacement there. But then this splits apart. You've got this weird wire thing here, which you slot in like that. And you slot in to this piece like that. And it comes across like that. Unfortunately, it's too loose and it falls out. So yeah, it's a nice looking accessory. The paint application is very, very clean. It looks like it's been used a few times. It's got some nice detail there with the actual gauge on there for like pressure gauge. It's probably fired via compressed air and things like that, and you've still got the notch on there. It's very well detailed. Unfortunately, there's just a couple of loose bits on there that don't fully fit in very well, which is a shame. But then he also comes with his bow staff. I can't even fit it in the camera. That's how long it is. Try and get it back as far as I can. There we go. Very well detailed. Love those orange stripes in the middle. And then when you want to shrink this down, you pull these two bits out. You take the shrunk down ends here, just push them in like so. The boring bit, in you get, you bastard. And then that will go on the back with the sword in sheath. And speaking of swords, this is the sword he comes with. Very well made. I love this sort of darker metal style that they've got on the sword to make it look more future tech. I love this little notch in here, and these orange accents really say that this is Deathstroke's sword and only his. He also comes with a smaller chest piece so he can do more forward pointing poses, holding the sword and things like that closer to him, which is a really good touch. I think that was a really great idea. I'm surprised they couldn't do anything like that with Batman, probably because of the design, but I'm so glad they're actually improving on these and not just churning out the same old every single time. He also comes with some wrist pegs, always handy, and he comes with two gripping hands, two fisted hands, a gun trigger hand, an open sort of grasping action hand. I don't know what you do with that. I think you just pose it to make it look like he's reaching out or, you know, posing dramatically with it. But we're going to come in quickly and have a look at these hands. Very well designed, lots of dirt in there, a few scratches here and there, very nice black wash. The knuckles are separate, the hands are different. You can see that the orange doesn't bleed off into the black. Very nicely separated. I always say it, and I'll say it again, Hot Toys always nail the hands. Great job. And here he is with the other chest piece on, and I've pushed the butterfly joints all the way forward, and he's gripping his staff, and one of the thumbs popped off the hand. It looks like they're detachable, or you know, they were two separate pieces and the glue wasn't as strong on this one, so it's not a big deal. I can glue that back in place. It's not a big deal, but yeah, that is a shame. But as you can see, the arms go all the way forward. You can grip that bow staff pretty well. You can have him in quite elaborate poses. Okay, and this is just a quick example of what you can do when you use the smaller chest piece in the middle. You can bring the arms forward a little more and give him a bit more of a dynamic sort of action pose with his hands sticking out to the front and things like that. And you can see obviously from this stance as well, when he's in action poses and he's got to have his legs a bit spread out and he's in a crouching stance, they do look a little bit short, those legs. They should be a little bit more lengthy, I think. Or maybe it's just the armour makes them look a little stubby. But I can understand why people are a little bit disappointed, because the legs can look a little stumpy. I'm more than happy. I have the Arkham Knight Batman here. I'll just bring him in so he can also come into this as well. And you can see the sort of size comparison. They're going to be both on the same stand, so it should be a very realistic height comparison between the two. Voila. And as you can see, here is Arkham Knight Batman, and I really like this Batman. It's a shame because he doesn't articulate that well. He definitely doesn't articulate as well as Deathstroke, but he's still a very nice, impressive piece. And when you've got these two standing next to each other, you can see they actually fit together really well. And I'm just praying to God Hot Toys decide to do the Arkham Origins Batman now. You've got to do it. You've clearly proven that you've got the Arkham Origins license. So all I hope, and it's almost a definite, but you never know. You know, sometimes licensing issues can be complicated and they can release this guy, but there could be a rule why they can't release the Arkham Origins Batman. Or it could be that they just think, well, Deathstroke is, you know, this is the only Deathstroke we're going to do from the video games. We've already got a Batman from the video games. Let's just move on and try and do other characters. So who knows? But I would really love for them to do an Arkham Origins Batman. Okay guys, that's it. Like and subscribe, and if you do me a favour now, if you can get the fuck out of my cave, the next video should be my update on my collection room. Everything that I've gotten from January to now. And one final little bonus for everybody who stays to the end of the videos, as per usual, we have the Mezco Deathstroke next to the Hot Toys Deathstroke, and you can actually see there's quite a few similarities between the two. Obviously the 112 is not going to knock, it's not even going to compare to a Hot Toy, but still it's very nice. You can see it actually has a lot of similarities. It's still got the strapping and the webbing across his chest here. Still got the belt across there, the arm gauntlets. He's even got the, well, they're more grenades, but he's still got weaponry and ammo on his shoulder there. Still got battle damage on the shin guards and the forearms. Orange on that side, blue on that side. But on the plus side for the Mezco against the Hot Toy is you've got other weapons with this guy, like the machine gun. I think this guy could have benefited from having some, you know, a sniper rifle and maybe a machine gun as well, but they rather go with the more iconic sword and staff that he uses. He also comes with a handgun as well, of course, but yeah, it would have been nice if he'd actually come with a few more weapons, but such as it is, you get what you get, and I think it actually comes with, you know, enough. Okay guys, that's it. Take care now. Bye bye.